Hey guys, I'm Naya and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I decided to do another tier list, but one we haven't done on the channel before. I decided to talk about Floodgates. I think with the recent unlimiting of Defissure and Macrocosmos and the banning of Mystic Mine, it's very important to talk about those things. Like Floodgates are ever present in the meta and they are sort of a necessary evil. And with a couple of them coming back, one of them that we all hoped would get banned actually got banned. With all of that, I think we can discuss, moving into the next format, what's going to happen with Floodgates and how much play they're actually going to be seeing and how much power they actually have. Before we get started, I just want to shout out my Patreons. I'm so thankful for you guys' support. And if any of you want to support me over there, you can always find the link in the description below. So, getting started, for the first one, I wanted to choose Anti-Spell. It's very interesting. It's overall considered an insanely strong Floodgate. We also discussed it being banned a couple of formats back, if you remember. But right now, like you noticed, I only put it in decent. It just seems like it's very nice all around, but we're not in a format that's heavily focused on spells. With tier, you don't really care about your spells that much. With Flunder, they're nice in getting you consistency. So Anti-Spell does stop you a bit. But still, if you do see your plays, you're not that reliant on them. So with all of that being said, it's nice against Pendulum. It's very nice against Pendulum. But they are not considered such a threat, at least in this current point in time, that they should be sided against, if that makes sense. Then we have Defissure, and with that, I also wanted to mention Macrocosmos, because in my opinion, Macrocosmos is worse because it's a trap card. It's slower, it cannot go second, whereas Defissure, obviously, it can, and Defissure might actually see play, in I wanted to say Floodgates, in Flunder, in the runic variants that are very heavily focused on just stunning and just runic, just very pure. And I do think Defissure is strong by itself, but it just wasn't seeing play because it was limited. And Macrocosmos is not bad at all, but I don't know, it should go higher though than Anti-Spell, but Rolcalis can actually negate it, which is very interesting. And again, it's slow, it's a trap card, and not that many decks actually play traps. If you're a very stun and trap focused strategy, then sure, you can afford to run a lot of them, but it's not going to see play by a lot, whereas Defissure probably will. So hopefully that makes sense. It's only decent, at least in my eyes. And with Goes and Match, and also Rivalry, it's very interesting. I think Rivalry might be a bit better, Rika can use it and Sword Soul can use it. Goes and Match can be used by Marinces, sure, for example, but both of them just seem very situational. Worse, Anti-Spell is worse, I wanted to say, but they don't seem that great either. Like I said, with situational, I meant if you catch them in a very specific spot where they summon Rhinoheart or they summon a Robina, which is water, and Rhinoheart is a warrior. It's it might be tricky for them to play, but it's not that bad because you still have some plays under those cards if you don't really get caught in that situation. And I don't think it's warranted for us to run Rivalry and Gozen in case we find ourselves in a spot where we want to flip up this card and insta win, I guess. To me, it just doesn't really make sense. They're not bad, but they're realistically probably not going to be seeing a lot of play. And with Imperial Iron Wall, I just wanted to put it on here to say that it's not worth it because with the tier deck, statues are quick effects anyway. So if they're gonna want to banish something, banish it and shuffle something back, they're gonna do it anyway. Against birds, it's not that bad because they won't get banished, they won't get their effects to return, so the bird deck won't have that much follow-up. But still, are you really going to be running Imperial Iron Wall just because of those two reasons? It doesn't seem worth it at all, actually. So yeah, it's just here to sort of represent the difference between those Floodgates, I guess. Mistake as well. It's not bad against Flunder. You're stopping their chain of summoning and searching and all of that. But against tier, it doesn't seem that great and just not worth it right now. And with Necro Valley, it's very much different. It's straight up going and goated. I think it's so nice. With Metaverse coming back, if you want to focus your deck on Necro Valley, you're able to run anything you want pretty much, even set rotation. If you have multiple field spells, Jacob Slayer can even search it. You can play it in Exorcister, in Crystal Beast, and just those decks that counter the tier deck because of Necro Valley. And it's so interesting to see how tier is like this one strong deck, but there's so many around that can play very solid counters like Shifter, like Necro Valley. So Necro Valley for sure is goated in my opinion. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, like, I think it's only decent. It's way too specific, and the statues are earth, fairies, all of the fairies are earth anyway, so it's not that bad. You're still going to be able to like establish something, at least a couple bodies, go to your extra like a bit, like it's not that bad. And because of that, like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror probably shouldn't be very high on the list. Like, it's not bad, but it's way too specific. With Skill Drain, I think it should probably go in good. Like, tier can actually use it. It's nice against Flunder, and it's just a very solid Floodgate all around. It's also very nice. Like, if you're playing a trap heavy strategy, you're probably going to be running 3 Skill Drain because it's strong, you know, and against tier, it might not be that great because they have their effects activating everywhere else pretty much. But yeah, other than that, like, it's not bad against it. And yeah, like I said, if you're running multiple trap cards, you can include this one as well and do well against Thunder with it, against tier in some capacity. Like Soul Drain is probably not as strong because it's only focused on the graveyard. So it should probably go like somewhere indecent, probably towards the top. Like, it's not bad, but it's not that great either. So yeah, just over here I think it's fine. And then we also have the Constellar Diamond. I wanted to mention it with Ptolemaeus coming back. Like, you have a couple decks that are going to be able to run this, but only a couple. And even those are probably not going to be seeing that much play because there's so much difference between the top decks, and we are very much in a format that's only focused on a couple of them. So yeah, the card is nice to counter the best deck. Like, to prevent milling is insane, but how many decks are actually going to be running this card, and how much play is it actually going to be seeing? Like, only time will tell. And I think it's very interesting, but still, like, it should probably go somewhere towards the top of decent. And then we'll see, you know, when the format, like, I guess, evolves a bit. And then we have Summon Limit as well. I think I'll put it in good just because tier can actually like run it to counter the mirror match, which is very interesting. Like, if you just set it at the end of your combo, just chill, flip it up on their turn, it's very solid. Like, it's yeah, it's nice pretty much. And with There Can Be Only One, actually also tier can run it as well to counter Flunder. So it's not only a counter to like the best deck, but the other best deck can actually play it. So just like, you know, Shifter can be played in Flunder pretty much. I mean, Shifter is a bit more strong though, or am I just biased because I play tier and I just hate Shifter? I don't know. But yeah, like, There Can Be Only One is very useful, and Zombie World is very solid, but it can only be like very, very useful in tier just because you're actually going to be able to get to it more consistently through Necroworld Banshees. So it should probably go somewhere indecent. Like this, I think, is probably fine. But because you can actually get to a Banshee only in that deck, and yeah, you counter Flunder, but like, because it's not going to see play that much, I think it should only go indecent pretty much, is what I want to say. Yeah, with that, like, I guess let me know what you think. It was fun to sort Floodgates around. I'm genuinely wondering how much of them are going to be seeing play, like, other than like Necro Valley and Zombie World, which is kind of obvious, but how much of, like, you know, the interesting ones, the Deep Fissure coming back, Macrocosmos coming back, how much of them are going to be seeing play. So if you like this video, of course, like it, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, just sub to the channel, check out all of the social media, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.